comunica mi Javier Ibarreche.
Hi, I'm Javier Ibarreche with the Estreno, and I'm here with Gendy Tartakovsky, creator of the show Primal, to talk about the upcoming season. Gendy, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Great. Season 3 of Primal is coming real soon, and from what we can see in the trailer, it seems like the show is following a bit of a rule of threes, where you have a premise, the premise is then reinforced, and then there's a twist. Like in Primal, we first saw Spear trying to survive. Then in season 2, he was looking for some sense of community. And then in season 3, from what we can see in the trailer, he's kind of a zombie. It's a surprising twist, but it all resonates with reality because there's this cycle of like surviving, community, then death. Is this evolution of Spear a reflection of humanity's decay, or what is this new season trying to convey?
I think it's about it's accurate what you're saying, and I think the first season he is trying to survive, right, with this new animal friend, and the second season he meets a more elevated form, evolved form of humanity that's really worse than the animals in a way, right?
Yeah.
And for the third season, we kind of look at it as finding life through death.
Okay.
So it's will he find himself? Will his life continue, or is he forever going to be kind of this mindless zombie?
Okay. Moving a bit more into the visual aspect of the show, I think it's quite clear that Primal takes many elements of your previous works and puts them together. Like the sequences with no dialogue became a whole show with no dialogue. The storytelling is visual. There's stunning cinematography, long shots to build the atmosphere. I think it's quite clear that you learned a lot from previous works to create Primal. I was wondering, what have you learned so far from Primal that you intend to carry on to future projects? And maybe is any of that in season 3?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think as as I reflect back on my career, it's actually my timing that changes the most. Where on Dexter it was very, quick and snappy and trying to be very stylistic. And from that point on, it started to slow down. And what I started to realize was, I don't want to just deliver a joke. I want to make the audience feel something. So by the time we got to Samurai Jack, it was beautiful art, and I slowed everything down and let music and effects really have their own character and personality in telling the story. And then by the time we get to Primal, it's the biggest example of that. We're slowing things down even more, not to a point where it's like, oh, okay, let's get through this. But we're better now at storytelling. So when you have a sequence where things are slow, it still feels like there's something happening and you're getting a feeling from it, And I think that's the thing that I've learned the most and still learning it. How do I create a mood? And I think that's what sets it apart from other animated shows is I think shows, maybe they have a tone, right? And it's a style, but sometimes they don't have a mood, and I think that's very important for me is that you turn down the lights, you put your TV on to kind of loud, and you can sit back and really get sucked into this world.
Right. I'm sure you've heard this before, but there's this theory that suggests that Spear is the same caveman that Dexter brought to his lab in the episode where he built a time machine. They even draw the hand in the same way. I think there was even like a bumper that Adult Swim made connecting the two characters. I have no doubt personally that they are the same character. But my question to you was Primal somehow happening in your head since you were making Dexter?
No, there's no connection between the two. I even yelled at Adult Swim for doing that promo. And
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's a fun idea, but it's not. Primal certainly didn't exist back then because I would never imagine to make a show with no dialogue, when I was in my, early 20s. It's just, it was a great idea for the Dexter episode. Dexter wanted to meet the first scientist, the one who created fire. And now it's a whole different thing.
And
so each of my universes are separate.
Yeah.
to their own.
And very quickly before we wrap it up, every episode of Primal feels like its own contained story. I was wondering, what is your starting point to create each of those story arcs within the episode? Is it the action? Is it the mood? When you create one, what is the first trigger?
It's usually an idea of, I mean, I think it's different for each one. Sometimes it's a title. Like in the first season, we had Rage of the Ape Men. And that was just a title that I came up with. And I was like, I know there's going to be some kind of monkey fighting. And so we built a story around the title. Other times it's really, again, about setting that kind of mood and what happens emotionally. You know, what's going to happen with the character? Because we always have to be careful that it's not just an action show. You know, that there's always a story and there's a purpose for the fighting. That's kind of a big deal for us. Because you want to be, as an audience member, you want to not just watch gratuitous violence, right? You want it to have a meaning and a purpose. And so I think we wrap a lot of that as we develop the stories.
All right. Well, Gendy, thank you so much for your time. And I didn't want to end without very, very quickly showing you. I'm a huge fan of Primal.
Amazing.
I have the spear and fang here in my arm. Like this show has moved me so much. So seriously, thank you so much for your time and for this interview. I really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.